From LALATE headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Afternoons LALATE.
It's a big afternoon crashing in of Afternoons LALATE with incredible big news about your fourth stimulus check of 2021. In this recording, we go over the fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check that lands in your bank account starting the month of July. We go over the breaking news in the last 24 hours that impacts your fourth stimulus and impacts the fourth stimulus check. And we go over the incredible great news that hit on Friday, that could potentially raise your SSI benefits in addition to the fifth stimulus package, an additional 20%. Yes, incredible great news. Then we have breaking details minutes ago from IRS that goes over the middle of this recording. The big money land your bank account this week, today, and on Monday. I have all the breaking news from IRS in a major advisory just minutes ago. And then we go over all the other money that you can get right now. It's tens, thousands of dollars, and I have all the great details. This is a major recording. I'm excited you're here. It's Saturday, and it's Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's Afternoons LALATE. I'm really excited you're here because I have great news about the fourth stimulus check, that monthly stimulus check that lands in your bank account starting the month of July. In this recording, this is your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. Then we cut over to fifth stimulus, and the fifth stimulus could get an additional 20% add-on on top of it. That's breaking in the last 24 hours. Then in the middle of this recording, we go over the big breaking news from IRS just minutes ago. I told you I had big news on noontime, and it's coming to you right for the first time now in this afternoon's broadcast. This is LALATE, the only 24 hours a day's financial news channel. From Wall Street to Main Street, from my home to your home, from crypto to stimulus, it's all covered. There's literally not a minute off air. I have shows 24 hours a day across the board for you to have fun, learn, educate, and get a lot of money and get very wealthy. So subscribe. Also like this video. And if you've not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Casino VIP. Let's get to the fourth stimulus update of 2021 and the breaking news overnight. The fourth stimulus has two proposals across the board, the House proposal and the Senate proposal. Detailed on this channel over the last few weeks. On Friday, it got a major twist and turn. Let's see why Friday changed the equation. The House proposal is the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. They would give you a monthly stimulus check. We had always said, well, let's say, for example, there's 4 more months in the pandemic, then that would be 16 months of stimulus checks. The senators proposed stimulus checks from July to December. And if you're on the live chat just after 3 o'clock on the West Coast or 6 o'clock on the East Coast, get ready to vote House or Senate. But don't vote yet because I have breaking news that's going to change your opinion. The House proposal was $1,000 a month for the stimulus check after the first month, which is $2,000. And the senator's amount per month is unknown, but we're on street. It would be this: $12,000 over 6 months, $2,000 per month. Or $1,400 a month over 6 months, which would be $8,400. Wow. Now, here is the breaking news happening in the last few hours. The breaking news is that the CDC has issued an advisory saying that the mask mandate is lifted. So the mask mandate could signal that the pandemic is over. The mask mandate was the mandate requiring people to wear masks inside. CDC says if you're vaccinated, you no longer have to wear masks inside. And that followed with the White House on Friday lifting the mask mandate for vaccinated people. Today, minutes ago, Home Depot, Lowe's, Trader Joe's, all lifting the mask mandate if not regulated by a city or county where that business is located. California, gone early week of June. Which means that we now question if the pandemic will be gone by the time in which the vote for the fourth stimulus happens. By all accounts, potentially yes. That means that the House plan proposes monthly stimulus checks for the remainder of the pandemic. The pandemic could be gone by the time of the vote, which would mean 12 months of checks, $13,000, but it would take 12 months to get them, compared to the Senate, 6 months to get $12,000, $2,000 a month potentially. The same amount just in half the time. So with that, vote on the live chat right now. Senate or House, Senate or House. It looks like the Senate is now the much more attractive option because it's the same amount of money, potentially, as the House, just in half the amount of time. Now, here are the other details happening across the board with forced stimulus. Let's go over all the items. First, who's going to get it? You are. If you're on SSI or SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, you're going to get the forced stimulus check. Married couple, you're going to get the forced stimulus check, double it. 150,000 or less, yes, you get it. Single individual, 75,000, you get the forced stimulus check. Household 4 or less, you get the stimulus check, quadruple it. When you're going to get it, remember, I'm a reporter, so I just report the news. I don't represent it. Their representations are the vote is in July. That means the first check would be the month of July, and every month thereafter. There would be no ways because it's a monthly stimulus check, so there's no ability to do ways. The stimulus check would be the same amount for adult dependents as minor dependents and as everyone else. Not taken out for child support. We don't know that answer just yet. And then we do know it's not income. It's not taxable. Away we go. A two-step, two-bill, two-month process already underway. And the president's message Friday, all last week, get it done. It's incredible great news because he's speaking to his Democratic leadership to get it done. Get it done and out the door. But guess what? Forced stimulus checks are heading to the finish line, but other forced stimulus items that have nothing to do with checks, like FPUC, eviction moratorium, mortgage forbearance, PEUC, may not be heading anywhere. I have all that news coming up and what's happening in the last few hours in the second half of this recording. Also in the second half of this recording is absolute insane great news about SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits, under the fifth stimulus check package. The fifth stimulus package in the fall is a two-bills, two-step process that goes by reconciliation and does SSI reform. And you know it's going to raise your benefits up. But guess what? There's a new twist in the last 24 hours that could signal a 20% add-on on top of that. Wow, wow, wow. I have those breaking news in the second half of this recording, so stay with me. Fifth stimulus is coming up in the second half of the recording. This is a little jam-packed 30-minute show, so stay with me across the entire recording, but get a pen and paper because I have a lot of breaking news that you need to know, and I have a lot of tough love for you. And I had one viewer said, thank you for giving me the tough love. I really appreciate that, LALATE, because I am doing something Monday morning immediately. Remember, some offices are open on Saturday, so you can also do it today. So now let's get to the big money that's available for you right today, next week, and the week after. It's going to be some automatic, what I call donut moments, where you don't have to do anything. It's free money. It just lands in your hand. You can eat your donut and enjoy the money landing. And tough love moments, where you have to do something. I'm going to be very tough on you, that I want you to do it because you're not going to get it later on. All right, let's get to the details to start. The first one is so exciting. It's rent, utilities, food, and internet, and also mortgage assistance and homeowners assistance. It is now landing under third stimulus. It landed last week. It's going to land next week, and it landed in some places the week before. What is this? When third stimulus became law, I told you as a viewer of this channel that the big money on the third stimulus is not a $1,400 stimulus check. It's this. It's upwards of $20,000. And I want you to get it, I said at the time, as a purple hawk. And that created the expression, purple hawk. Hawk, hawk. You got to pounce to get the money before the stimulus stampede, another expression I created, stampedes in to get the stimulus before you. So what is it? Let's go over the rent. $5,000 approximately for 4 to 6 months of rent you can get in 6 locations. Get that pen and paper ready. Here we go. And if I'm going too fast, you can always replay the video. City Hall, City Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. You're going to reach out to them and ask for rent assistance because of COVID. That's rent assistance because of COVID. You do not use the word stimulus. They don't know the word stimulus. And also, you may also include the word Biden Economic Recovery Act. That's City Hall, City Housing Authority. State Hall, State Housing Authority. County Hall, County Housing Authority. It's about $5,000 plus money for utilities, mortgage assistance, and homeowners assistance. Incredible, great news. Now, let's go over to SNAP. What is SNAP? SNAP is money for your food, and it is upwards of $5,000 a year for a family of 4 in Hawaii? Wow. How do you get this? Department of Agriculture. Department of Agriculture, DOA. Call 211 and ask to reach out to Department of Agriculture. SNAP is money for your food. And you can go get it, so do it. Look at this. We're only 10 minutes, there we go, 10 minutes into this recording, and I've already got you $5,000 for food, for rent, and about, $14,000 if you're in Hawaii for food. It's incredible, great news. But with that incredible news comes a tough love moment. Here's the tough love moment, the first one of this video, which is that the money for rent, homeowners assistance, and utilities is available now under third stimulus, but categorically will not be coming back under fourth stimulus. Moreover, the eviction moratorium and the mortgage forbearance are going away. They're expiring. What's at issue? Congress made very clear that they wanted you to get this money for rent and utilities as soon as it goes live. And by giving you this opportunity to get the money, they're going to get rid of the eviction protection and mortgage forbearance. So I want you to get this money now because you need to understand, tough love, that those other items are going away that are going to protect you. All right, now let's go to the other items, and I got some donuts ready for you so you can just put up your feet and enjoy money landing automatically from into your bank account. And I love all the comments I'm getting, private messages and DMs about this, so I'm going to answer some of them right now. So one viewer asked about the next item, which is thousands of dollars coming from your states. States have been now ordered to return money back to you, which you ironically had given back to them. What went on here and what's going on? Well, the Department of Labor, the federal government, has ordered states to return back to you money that you had returned back to them when they had overpaid you for unemployment benefits. This was the scenario. Some states had computer malfeasance where, to no fault of your own, accidentally paid you thousands of dollars of extra money. Then they reached out to you and said, we made a mistake, return it back to us. The federal government has stepped in and now said that was an error and you should have been allowed to keep the money and not return it. And now they've ordered the states to automatically return the money to you. It's incredible, great news. So how are you going to get it? It's going to come automatically to the account that you have on file with your state, and it's going to come in the next few weeks, and it's thousands of dollars. One viewer sent me a private message, said it happened to her and her husband, $5,000. Her question was when? It just depends on the state. Every state is totally different. Reach out to your state. Also reach out to the Department of Labor if you want specifics about a particular state and its time frame to get those money back to you. Comes to donut item number 2. And this one has breaking news minutes ago. Wow. So this is money back from the federal government and the IRS, the Department of Treasury. If you pay taxes on your first $10,200 of unemployment to the IRS is returning that money to you. I've been reporting over the last few days. What's the issue? This is a scenario. If you filed a tax return 2020, individual, and pay taxes on your unemployment benefits, you're getting that money back. Here's an example. $9,000 of unemployment benefits, you paid $5,000 in total tax bill, and of that $5,000 total tax bill, you paid $4,000 of taxes on unemployment. You're getting $4,000 back from the IRS or Treasury. What's the breaking news? Minutes ago, the IRS confirmed my reporting, which is the first recipients of this money are single filers, and phase 2 will be the joint filers, like husband and married couple. But the IRS went into even more detail minutes ago, revealing that under phase 1, the individuals who are getting these refunds first are people with quote-unquote simpler tax returns, meaning the only name on the tax return is your name. There are no dependents, like a single mom with 2 kids, and there's nothing particularly complicated on the tax return. IRS cites the things where you have other things coming back to you, other refunds on the tax return. They're paying the refund for the unemployment back to the simplest returns for single individuals first, and then they're going to go over the rest of the single individuals thereafter, and they have already started. So that's breaking news just minutes ago. Hey, that brings us to another tough love moment. And this tough love moment is the following. If you took out for federal taxes each week or at any week during 2020 for your unemployment benefits, then you need to file that tax return by Monday to request the money back. And that brings us to the major issue, which you've been seeing on this channel over the last days, and why I'm getting a little bit tougher on the tough love right today. On the end of Monday, your personal federal tax return is due. And if you don't get the federal tax return on file for the things I'm about to detail you, you're not going to get that money. So let me go over the details of this one. If you took out, let's say, $100 a week for federal taxes for your unemployment benefits over 10 weeks, then that's $1,000. How do you get that money back? You have to file a tax return by the end of Monday. All right, that brings us to the credible money for the children. In the month of July, $3,600 for 5 to newborns and $3,000 for 17 to 6 will be paid by the federal government to the parent for every child. So let's say you're a mother, single mom of a 5, 4, and 3-year-old. You're looking to get almost $10,000 in the month of July if 2 events have occurred. 1, you make less than $75,000, and 2, the IRS knows those children exist and are with you. Which brings us to tough love moment number 1. You never file a tax return, and in your heart of hearts, as you watch this video, you think that the IRS does not know those children exist or does not think that the IRS thinks those children are with you. You have to file that tax return because come July, you'll categorically 100% triple underline not get paid that $10,000 for the children. You must file a tax return by the end of Monday. Number 2, you're a parent and you do file your tax return every single year, but have never listed that child. And now you realize there's a big issue because you've never listed that child on your tax return. The scenario often is triggered when perhaps the child appeared on your ex-husband's tax return or the child was just born in the last year. Guess what? You got to file that tax return by the end of Monday. And then scenario number 3, which is you always list the child on the tax return and you most recently filed a 2019 tax return where you made $250,000. You're not eligible for this children's money under the 2019 tax return. But under the 2020 tax return during the pandemic, you took a hit and you made almost no money. Guess what? You're eligible for the check, you would think, but you're not because IRS is going off the most recent tax return, the 2019. You must file the 2020 tax return to get the money for the children. And that brings us to tough love moment number 4. One of the most critical ones, which is if you're missing a first, second, or third stimulus check, or a single or a member of the household stimulus check, you must file the tax return by the end of Monday. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. On even today's video, on Mornings LALATE, someone in the live chat said, is anyone missing their third stimulus check? And another person said, is anyone else track their stimulus check on the IRS tool and says March 26th and haven't gotten it? At this point, my advice to you is very clear and very emphatic because it's the IRS's advice. Don't track the stimulus checks any longer. Don't go to the IRS tool any longer because at this point, you need to request the check by filing a 2020 tax return by the end of Monday because it's now considered missing. If it shows March 26th mail and you haven't gotten it, you must file a tax return by the end of Monday and request that missing stimulus check. And that now brings 2 questions which came up earlier today on Mornings LALATE, which I want to incorporate into today's broadcast. 1, a viewer said, what if I file an extension on Monday? Will I still get the monies? Yes, legally you'll still be entitled to the monies, but they could come literally months late. For example, let's say you get an extension, you don't file your tax return until October. When do you think you're going to get the July check for the children? Probably next year. So don't do an extension if you don't have to, because that's just going to delay you getting money. Number 2, someone said, does this mean we're not going to get 4 stimulus checks unless you file a tax return? No, I'm not referring to stimulus checks in these subjects. I'm going over unemployment benefits, and hence you need to get that pen and paper ready for that tax preparer. I'm going over requesting back federal taxes, the children's checks starting the month of July, missing stimulus checks, or anything like the items which I just detailed. And there you go. Those are the breaking developing details and the big money landing across the board. But guess what? I have 2 major announcements to make to you, and I want you to look me right in the eye. If you're an individual who never has to file a tax return because you don't make enough money, or you're on SSI or STI and you never have to file a tax return, and you've heard any of the scenarios in this last 3 minutes where you think it's triggered a problem where you have not got to money or you may not get the money, you must categorically file that 2020 tax return. The situation is the following. Your obligation to file a tax return is not what's being covered in this subject. What's being covered is IRS says that if you need to get certain types of items of stimulus, which I just covered, the only way to get it, if it's not teed up to receive it already, is by filing a tax return. And there you go. Coming up in just a few minutes from now, I'm going to be going over what's going on in the 5th stimulus and why you could see a 20% increase on top of the already increase proposed under the 5th stimulus package. Then we'll circle back to 4th stimulus and why there was a major change on Friday that could signal stimulus is going out the door for checks, but not for other stimulus items. I have all the incredible great news coming up after this commercial break, but here is a little bit about the community page. If you need help getting rent, utilities, food, or internet, the volunteers can help you. They cannot help you with taxes. They don't provide tax advice, and they cannot help you with unemployment assistance. But I'll be back in 60 seconds with those big developing details about 4th stimulus check and the fifth stimulus package. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on Afternoons LALATE, direct from Santa Monica. I'm really excited you have joined me on a beautiful Saturday. The toast was toasting this morning, and now the waves are crashing. We got some purple on the set. I know you love some purple, and I don't think I've often had purple flowers on the set. So we're glossing it up because we're ready for fourth stimulus, and we're ready for fifth stimulus. And we're also ready for 400,000 subscribers. We're just 400 people away. So subscribe. Tell your cat, your llama, your pet dragon, your cat, your alpaca to subscribe. We're just a few hundred away. Very exciting day. Also like this video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, or Calcino VIP. Let's get to the other breaking, developing details. Fifth stimulus is the next stimulus package, which comes in September. It's a two-step, 2-month process, and it will provide that SSI and SSDI reform, but guess what? On Friday, it could provide a lot more than that. This is a breaking news report you're hearing for the first time on this channel. SSI and SSDI reform would provide a new benefit limits, then remove the asset cap, but raise it up to a new level at inflationary benchmark. That's where the breaking news is hitting in hard today. Then remove the income exclusion and remove the marriage penalty. Okay, let me go over the breaking news and go over the calculation for you. And I'm going to slow it down when we get to the numbers, because this is very important for you to understand. So SSI and SSDI reform under fifth stimulus we've detailed in recent days on this channel. What is it? It would raise your benefits up to a big new number. And who's you? SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits, survivor benefits as well. And if you're on multiple benefits as well. So it would raise your benefits up to a new number. Then it would tie you to a new benchmark, and that benchmark is inflation. Now, you've understood that as I've covered over the last few days. So let's say they raise you up to a new number of 100. And then the end of this year, the inflationary rate is 2 to 4%. Let's say it's 2%. Then next year, you would get 102 because they're adding 2% on top of it. Let's say the year after that, it's another 2% inflation. They would add 2% on top of 102. So it would be about 104, 103 and a half. So that's how benefits work. When they're tied to inflationary benchmark, you go up and then they add the benchmark. And if inflation goes up, you go up a little bit more. And if the next year inflation is 3%, then you go up a little bit more. If after 2 years the inflation is 0, you don't go down. If inflation goes 0 for 5 years, you don't go down. You never step down. It's a step up or stay the same basis. You either step up or stay the same. Easy? All right, let's go over what happened on Friday. On Friday, Jeremy Siegel, professor at Wharton School of Business, leading economist and top financial investor, went on broadcast news and said, why is the Federal Reserve, Janet Yellen, all these people talking about 2 to 4% interest rate for inflation? I expect, 2% to 4% inflationary rate. He says, I predict the inflationary rate this year will be 20%. 20%. Let's go over the math, folks. So let me show you what happens then if Jeremy Siegel is correct. Your benefits would be raised up to a new number based upon the fifth stimulus package. And then, if inflation is 20% at the end of this year, you would be raised up another 20%, and that would be your level for the rest of the time that you're on planet Earth. It doesn't matter if over the next 10 years inflation is zero, you'll still be at that add-on of 20%. And guess what? If after this year, then the inflation rate is 3%, you go up another 3%. So this is incredible, great news. You would step up 20% in 1 year if the inflation rate is 20%. And then if inflation goes down, you're still up at the 20% for the rest of your time that you're on planet Earth. It's incredible, great news. Then they're going to remove the asset cap. The asset cap prevents you from keeping more than approximately $33,000 in hand for a single individual. You'll need this when you get those stimulus checks on the bank account. Then they'll remove the income exclusion. The income cap says you cannot go on benefits and also work. So if you want to work, you'll be able to work $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 a month and still stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty. The marriage penalty would go away, which means that if you suffered from the marriage penalty, you would no longer suffer. And also, it would mean that love wins. Many of you have not gotten married because of the marriage penalty and how it would cancel out your benefits. Now, love will win. You'll be able to marry your longtime emotional partner and not worry about the marriage penalty. When is fifth stimulus going to become a law? Fifth stimulus would heat up in that two-bill, two-step process starting September. So you'd likely see the benefits hit your account around November. That's your fifth stimulus check update of 2021. Now let's go over the fourth stimulus and why the president had several messages and why Democrats and Republicans had other messages as well. This is what you need to know. When talking about the fourth stimulus check, the monthly stimulus check, Republicans and Democrats over the last 7 days universally stayed on message that stimulus checks is an instrument that is used to pay off people's past due debts and is a very helpful instrument coming out of a pandemic. Republican governors have said this week that they don't like unemployment stimulus because you're not getting back to work. And they said, we are going to cancel or end unemployment stimulus and give you a stimulus check to get your bills caught up to date. That shows how they understand that unemployment stimulus is not the same instrument as a stimulus check and that they do different things. Here's what you need to know. Over the last 7 days, we've had a jobs number released in which it showed that there were more jobs than people taking the jobs. We had a consumer price index number and a producer price index number showing that inflation was going through the roof. The totality of the response from those numbers were the following: that unemployment stimulus needs to stop immediately. And that's FPUC, PEUC for the federal government. And with that, that is why I told you over a week ago that every Republican state where the governor is a Republican will stop those instruments right away. The Democrats have already agreed that eviction moratorium and mortgage forbearance are renters' stimulus, and those need to stop in September. So suddenly you have Republicans and Democrats really understanding very clearly how certain types of stimulus need to stop right away, but that has nothing to impact their items for stimulus checks. And in fact, those were some of those same Republican governors who want to stop unemployment stimulus want to continue stimulus checks to get your bills caught up. And getting your bills caught up is why we look back at the Senate versus House. If you're in the live chat, Senate versus House, let's vote. Which one do you like? Initially, the House plan looked better because there were more months of checks. But now it looks potentially like the House and the Senate plan could come in the same. The vote would be in July. So will the pandemic be over by July? Very potentially so. That would signal 12 months of checks at $1,000. Remember, I'm a reporter. I only report what they represent, not my vote and not my bill. So that would be 12 months, $13,000 House, but senators could potentially get you $12,000 in just 6 months. Half the time and nearly the same situation. Senate versus House? Drop in the comments below. In this recording, you've seen a lot of breaking details happening across the board. Why the CDC's mass guidelines or change of mass guidelines, and how corporate America's change of the mask mandate in the last 24 hours signals we're coming out of the pandemic. That means that less stimulus checks could be coming from a House proposal and could signal that the Senate plan makes more sense for fourth stimulus package. We also heard that the president's messaging of doing a deal on the corporate tax rate, getting it done when speaking to the Democratic leadership, suggests we're near the finish line. A two-bill, two-step process out the door in July for the fourth stimulus package. We went over the fifth stimulus package and how, if Jeremy Siegel's right, that inflation does go through the roof this year at 20%, it would change your life if you're on benefits, because you would be raised up to that level and would never step down, because there is no step down in benefits. And finally, we went over the tough love and the donut moments in the middle of the video. The tough love moments concern this Monday deadline for the federal tax return. You must get that federal tax return on file if you saw that issue upon you. Remember, a lot of tax preparers are open on the weekend, so reach out to them right away. Don't wait till the end of Monday. Do it right away. And guess what you need to do? Tune in to me next on Evenings LALATE in 2 hours from now, followed by Evenings Crypto. Evenings LALATE goes over the breaking news, more about fourth stimulus and the other items that are still happening for fifth stimulus this afternoon. I have a lot of new breaking news for you, so stay in tune to that recording coming up. Evenings LALATE in 2 hours. And then right after that, 2 hours after that, is LALATE's Crypto Evenings. Boy, some viewers are up 55% in 2 days because of this channel's ability to tell you where to buy and how to buy and make a lot of money. I'm making a lot of people a lot of money. And you don't have to buy. You can just watch, learn, educate, and have a lot of fun. Crypto coverage is back tonight. And then overnight is our Purple Power Clubhouse. 9 hours, a live chat room with the latest crypto news. You can jump in there, enjoy some music, watch me chat with your Purple Power buddies. It's 9 hours, and you love it, it's back. And with that, thank you for bringing us to 400,000. We're almost there, about 300 to 400 people away. Subscribe to this channel. Also, like this video. Tell your friends to come on in. Watch the crypto shows. Learn and educate yourself. Learn how to make money and get inspired. It's easy, breezy, and I make it simple for everyone. Also, subscribe and like. And if you have not become a member, consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Get those PDFs of what's in the fifth stimulus and fourth stimulus. And guess what? I'll see you next on Evenings LALATE. Stay informed, stay focused, keep on smiling, and stay with LA for more.